Welcome back to the show, everybody. We have got another special video for you today. I'm joined by the man himself, Mr. Saeed TV. We're talking United having no money to spend under Ruben Amorim. What's going on? How do we get around it? Are there any bargains to be made? First of all, before we get into it, Saeed, you're a busy man. How are you doing, my friend? Are you okay?
Yeah, man. We had that international break, little bit of a reset, but now we're straight back onto it, bro. We're on the content. We're on the grind. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to that Ipswich game, bro. That game right there is the game that everybody's looking forward to, man. And we're on the last kickoff of the weekend. So yeah,
That's
man,
it.
looking forward to it. But excited as well, man. A lot of optimism, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going into that game rather than a feeling of, you know what, it could be same old. But yeah, man, looking forward to it. And yeah, smash a like on the video, people.
It does look and sound like it's going to get really busy, mate, doesn't it? Like over these next few weeks now. Leading up to that, obviously, plenty of games involved in that period, and then heading into January transfer. First of all, obviously, we're talking transfers today about what money United can spend. Are you expecting anything big in January side, or can you just see this being a typical United blank January?
You know what? I've actually got more optimism about United than I had previously, if I'm being truly honest with you. Like, I feel like this window is going to be a bit of a weird window. I feel like it's going to be a bit of a window where Liverpool, I think Arsenal will spend, Man City will spend, and I think even the little clubs like Tottenham maybe and Villa might spend as well. So I generally believe, right, that we could get a situation where Ineos are looking over the shoulder thinking, hold on a minute, top four is actually possible. Top four is actually looking like it could be somewhat attainable. And if we don't spend in January, where the Glazers have almost missed the opportunity in them days, now it's like, you know what? Let's see if we can go and spend in there. So I think there's a lot of players, and I remember, I don't know if I said this to you, but I think there's a lot of players that are just not playing irregular football at the minute, you know, in terms of their clubs. They're not happy. And you could see like wild moves in January, like genuinely, like where you're like, you know what? Where did that come from? Where did he come from? Like, and I know, listen, likes of Chilwell might be in them conversations. We don't know yet. And Kunku we heard. So it's just going to be, how do Man United act? Do they act like they're ready and they want it? Or do they say, you know what? Let's just take a step back and let's not make any hasty decisions. So it's going to be interesting, man. See what they do.
I mean, it will be, mate. You look at it right now. You've got, obviously, the players that are all coming back at United. We're talking Lenny Yoro being available. Lee Nell, we were having a full-on tit-for-tat about Luke Shaw last night as well, mate. Him coming back. Malacia, I'm expecting to see him tonight as well at Altrincham in the under-21s. He's getting closer to match fitness, playing a big part as well. I personally, Saeed, I don't think we necessarily need anybody in January to get what we need out of this season.
Okay.
If we're a fully fit squad side, what's your expectation level if everyone stays fit? I know it's a big if, but right now everyone is fit and available for United. Where do you think United can finish before we even go into bringing any new players in?
I generally think for me, top six is achievable. Like really, like that's where I believe United could aim for and win the Europa League. My biggest aim is the Europa League. Obviously, league position is still key because it shows how consistent you are over a 38-game period. Obviously, we've got 28 games left in terms of, you know, that we played 10, we've got 28 left. So 28 games, a lot of games to still be consistent and not be like, oh, but we've got to think about the Europa League. No, Europa League right now is not what we should be looking at. And I think for me, ultimately, if I'm looking at the scenario with United, I'm like, go and get consistent. And I think this league is shown to be anything but consistent. You know, we got Nottingham Forest flying in fourth or something like that, you know, so Brighton around there. So there's a lot of teams beating each other. So I generally believe if United can get their act together and show who they are and not be a club that just it's Man United we're playing, we should win this game. No, win your game, man. Win your game, especially your home games. I want Old Trafford to be a fortress, Adam, and that's where United have been missing in the last couple of years.
Ruben did touch on that, didn't he? He was talking about Manchester United bringing back that fear factor, that identity of the football club. Well, hopefully he can bring that with what we've got there. And just so everybody knows, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to just watch for Saeed's reaction on his face right now. We're getting top four, mate.
Oh. Listen, I don't think it's not achievable. I don't think it's like a mad... Like, we're 4 points behind third. Like, we're not a million miles away. You know what I mean? For me, the way I look at it is that I'm not looking at top 4 as something that if the manager doesn't achieve it, we're looking to say, oh,
Yeah.
what a failure. You see what I mean, Adam? So it's
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's for me, it's like
totally.
just win the Europa League and have a consistent run and get top 6. You don't have to be amazing. We got, where did we finish last season? 8th, and we should have been 14th by the sounds of where we played. So we could get 6. And listen, I want to get 4th. I want to finish higher than that if I want to. But if you can get 4th, if you get top 6 and win the Europa League, it's a successful season, man, because we're in the Champions League regardless anyway. And we win a trophy, which we love to see that other clubs don't do. So hold that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, mate. That's what we've got to be aiming for as much as we can this season. But going into January, we can organise transfers. We can look ahead to transfers. It's been said by the club, it's come out from a few media sources this week, saying, mate, that Manchester United won't be going down that road of just rebuilding squads season after season, spending loads and loads of money every single summer. It's not going to happen. So with a small budget, what can Manchester United actually do? What can we get through? I honestly feel, Saeed, that looking at it right now, there are deals to be made. Obviously, we're talking the left-hand side. We talked Alvaro Fernandez. We talked Kirkez, who's out of contract at Bournemouth. But the big one that's going around at the moment is Alphonso Davies, mate. And United keep on getting linked with him. United want to make this deal happen. They want to get the deal over the line as quickly as possible and secure him down to a contract. He is seen as their dream signing. Now, you're not spending much money up front, but he carries big wages, Saeed. Alphonso Davies, for you, is he a player that you would go all out for, even on the big contracts?
You know what? It's a difficult one, man. I think for me, the left backs are not that hard to find now in Europe. Right backs are a problem, but I think left backs are not that bad to find. My thing is, it's all about the wage structure.
You need a fit one, mate. It's hard to find a fit one for us.
Exactly. But I think for me, it's like, it depends on whether we are looking to go into that wage structure again. There's a reason why he's leaving Bayern Munich and he's not agreed to a fee. It's that because he wants a bigger deal. And we're looking at 300k for a left back, who, listen, it's great going forward, but I've always had question marks going backwards. But we are playing a wing back system. I do believe he wants Champions League football, though, and that's something that United have to guarantee next summer. So I would love Alphonso Davies at United, but I'm just looking at the wage structure and where we always were moaning at United is that, look at our wage structure. It's a mess. It's terrible. What are we doing giving 300 grand a week? And we don't want to be tempting people to come to our club through wages. Now, if Ineos have got one plan, is that they have to attempt to bring the projects in. That's what they did with Lenny Yoro. They brought Lenny Yoro in because of the project. Cool, we got 150 grand a week, but if you look at it over the stretch of how many years he's going to be here, it's nothing. You know what I mean? So it's about building a project rather than building people and bringing in people for the wages, because that's where we messed up for so long.
Yeah, definitely. We've let players go like Alvaro Fernandez as well. We can bring him back on a 16 million quid deal back in his buyback clause. He's come out and spoken. He's not too sure yet what to do. We've got Harry and Mass coming through. Would you give a Mass a go instead of going spending all the big money on big wages, Said?
You know what's mad? I think Amas needs a loan, man. I would loan him out. He's only 17. You know what I mean? A few loans wouldn't harm Harry Amas, man. I think there's this idea that every youngster needs to make it United, or every youngster needs to make it so soon. You got outstanding ones like, Mainu and obviously Garnacho made it through the academy as well, but there's some others that just haven't made it. Toby Collier, I think, needs a loan. I think there's some people that just need loans. Mengi needed loans. Swanzabi needed loans. So we've had players that are naturally so talented and they come into the first team. Don't get me wrong, but there's also players that just need a loan. And I think Amas is one of them that if he could get himself in around that championship, get him to a top club in the championship where they fight for the playoffs, they play consistent football, I think that would do in the world of good. Championship football is proper, you know what you're going to get. It's brutal. It's 46 games a season. So you kind of need that. You need that robustness. And I think for me, a loan for me would be a sensible option right now for me, Amas. I
think, like you said, we've got a few players that are on the cusp. They either get into that first team squad and start having an impact, or maybe send them out on loan. Wheatley being another one. Gyökeres is a target for United. Obviously, this isn't going to be cheap, Saeed. We know that he's going to pack a punch, but you've got two options, really. If you haven't got a lot of money to spend, you could go all out and spend it on that one striker, the guy that's going to guarantee you goals in Gyökeres, which I think is true. And then you've got to go out and get the best left back you can, and maybe promote one of the younger strikers coming forward. Now, there is rumours that Shido Obi Martin is going to be fast-tracked through. He has been talked to Amrin by Nick Cox, by Will Cox, by Darren Fletcher, everyone involved in the academy. Now, I know how good he is, obviously. I know what he's bringing. I know what his standing is at the football club at the moment. If anyone comes through, because let's be honest, we're not getting Gyökeres in January, so we can forget that. So we're looking at the summer for this side. If we have an opportunity where a player comes through and starts hitting it off in our front line this season, are you second guessing bringing in a big striker in the summer, or do you commit to going, no, we've done this before, we tried to trust in younger players, it's not worked, we have to go out and get the striker no matter what? Because there could be a point where you've got Rashford, Xerxes, Højlund, Wheatley, Obi Martin, then a Gyökeres in the summer, and you're going back to that previous problem we had with overcrowding squads and too many players, and then not being able to get rid of players. Which way would you commit, Saeed? What's the safest option for you?
It's difficult because end of the day, man, it's putting the ball back in the net, and that's the aim of football, right? Because you don't score goals, you don't win matches. And I think for me, I look at Gyökeres, he does give you goals. He gives you instant guaranteed goals, in terms of his experience, his know-how. He's at the right age now, 26, proven in Europe, proven at the highest stage in the Champions League. So you can go down that route, or you can go down, give Chido Obi Martin a chance and let him thrive in this team. That's a young team that Amrin is trying to assemble. I just look at it, for me, it's like, let Amrin cook, man. Let him get into the under 18. Let him go to the under 21s. Let him keep developing. What is he, 16, 17? He's still young, man. I think for me, we want stuff so soon, and we've learned that with Højlund, is that it's a different animal, man, playing from under 21s and under that kind of level, maybe in a different league, to now coming to be Man United's number 9. The expectation, the levels, it's ridiculous. And I think Chido does, to be fair, thrive on that. But I think ultimately men's football is a different kettle of fish. So yeah, I think Gyökeres for me next summer, try and bring him in, maybe a different level, and then incorporate. Why not have 4 strikers, on the bench? Why not? Like, we used to do it before back in the day. Why has it changed now? Like, we need more. If anything,
old Fergie days, mate. The old Fergie days, pal. That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that old Fergie days, or just in general, like, having four strikers on the bench who are different in what they provide. I don't see it being a problem. We lack attacking quality now in the league. I remember City used to have that. Every club used to have that, and I think for me, ultimately, it's needed because we are a team that over the years now have not been able to score a lot of goals. I think the last person was probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in terms of his reign and what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, we had an exciting forward line back then. I remember if it was Martial, Greenwood, Rashford, all in their prime. You're bringing in Sancho to the fold there and Ronaldo at the same time. We had an abundance of quality in that side, but it isn't there right now. And it is the pressure position, isn't it, Saeed? So it boils it straight down to the main question right now. If you have got a small budget, where do you spend it come the summer? Where is the position? It's looking like 2 favourites, obviously. You've got the left and you've got that centre forward. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I feel like we can get a cheaper left back, though, or left wing back, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But I would just, for security reasons, I would go out and get Gyökeres. I would just go out and get the striker myself. But what would you do? Where would you be spending Man United's budget?
I think I've always said midfield is somewhere that I always prioritize. You win and lose games in midfield. I think fullback area is still a priority as well in that aspect. And I think maybe another centre-back that we could play alongside in the back line. But generally, I think even the inside 10s are a problem. Adam, we need surgery because we spent 600 million and we don't know where we went. Like, generally, you go to the shops, you got 20 quid, and you've come with just a packet of crisp and a bottle of water. Like, that's what it is. It feels like you've not spent nothing, and that is an indictment of the money that Ten Hag has spent. Is that
Feels
a
like
lot
I've
of
been
these
shopping
players,
in London, mate, coming out with that, doesn't it?
100%, man. You know what I mean? London, you're spending £5 for a bottle of water. But I generally think for me, it's like, you know, a lot of these players that Ten Hag has bought, they're now on almost like, what's the word? They're on trial. How can you be on trial when you've just been bought a year ago, 2 years ago?
Is that not what it should be at United, though, really?
It should be,
It's
of
like, you
course.
should be, look, if you brought into United, you ain't going to get the time that you're going to get at these smaller clubs, no disrespect. You have to hit the ground running. There is no time for anybody to improve or find their feet at Manchester United. I think that's what we're looking at.
No, that's fair. I agree with you in that aspect. But I also think for me, it's like, it shows you that, you know, that we haven't got players that are just ready. Like, this is where the squad is going to be tested, and Amorim will have to test himself. Like, who's ready? Who can I go into the battlefield with? Who do I know is going to give me 100%? And that's why everyone is on trial until the end of the season. Like, generally, everyone is on trial. Like, there's no guaranteed. People might say to themselves, oh, but that player's guaranteed. No, because this manager has got he's given everyone a clean slate in his eyes. Obviously, with us, we know what the ins and outs are. But in terms of his eyes, he's given a clean slate to everyone, and they have to prove to themselves they are ready for the battle for the next, what is it, 6 months, 7 months? You know,
6 months. Yep.
Yeah. So, are you ready? And if you're not, bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah, that's exciting. Listen, mate, I'm not going to speak to you before we play at weekend, obviously, because we're both busy. Who are you playing? Who's playing for Ipswich? I know what. Think on Amorim's level. Think that if you're going to set up with the three at the back, what you going with? Going off? Who's come back from international duty with the condition that they're in? Maybe little knocks here and there. Who's training now? Who's still to come back from internationals? The South American players. We're playing on the Sunday. We got an extra day's preparation this time around, an international break. Who's that lineup for the Ipswich game for you, Saeed? Who are you going with?
In goal, Onana. Right wing back, Dalot. Right side is centre back of a three. You got Delit. I'm gonna put Johnny Evans in the back as well, alongside Lisandro Martinez. I'm gonna put Mazraoui left wing back. In the middle, I'm gonna go with Garnacho. No, Garnacho. Casemiro and Ugarte.
Yep.
This is where it gets tricky.
The left.
And also, to be fair, I've done that bit there. So, yeah, we'll go into the midfield three. It's kind of crazy how we've done the back five and we go with midfield three. I'm going to go Rashford up top.
You going with a back five then, definitely.
Yeah, basically, it's a back five, but it's meant to be
3-5-2.
3-5-2 yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got situation of Rashford up top, Ahmad, and I'm going to say Bruno Fernandes in that 2-10 roles, just behind Rashford.
Okay. I get you. I think
now, who's available and who's ready?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, have you seen the pictures of the training videos that have gone out this morning?
Seen it. And Rashford
Anthony at right wing back, mate.
I know. I've seen that. Boy, but right now he's gonna have to take that role. You know when you just have to say,
no, mate, with you.
Bro,
got it.
You have to take that, mate. You have to, that's you ain't got no choice, my friend. You have to take that, my friend. So you best buckle up and start playing well, mate, because right now we are struggling. We are struggling in a minute.
Well, we are, but like you said, we're very, very close. What does a win do this weekend, Saeed? Does it give you that boost then? Everton at home after that, and you could win that, and you could actually be going into that Arsenal game then, coming up, actually not too far behind them. If you actually get to a point where you beat Arsenal, you could be overtaking them. If you beat Ipswich and Everton, that's the situation we are in.
Yeah, it's mad, when you think about it. Who would have thought of that, man? And also, listen, they got Forest at home, which is tricky. You never know what's going to happen there. Injuries as well. So
Trossard's got an injury as well. Now I've seen he came off, so we're not too sure what's happening there. It's going to be an interesting weekend back.
Just win them 2 games, please, United. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's too good to be true. And I don't want to get myself worked over it because I know then I'm going to left. But I just think for me, they're 2 attainable games. They're not difficult games in terms of what United this season are going to have to face. Like, these are probably 2 bankers where you're like, go and win Ipswich, go and beat Everton at home, Old Trafford, first Premier League game under Amorim, and just give everyone a lift, man. You know, just give everyone a lift, guys. That's what we need right now. We need a lift, and ultimately, we haven't got that under the previous manager. Now we need that under this manager here. Now, just give us a bit of a baseline to be like, you know what, Man United, we mean business. We mean business.
United back in business. Listen, everybody, thank you
That's
so
your
much
title.
for tuning in. United back in business. Saeed's done it there. Get your comments in below on all of the topics, how you would spend a minimal budget. Get them comments in below. Make sure you give the video a like. Saeed's channel, of course, is Saeed TV.
Come
Make
on.
sure you get across and watch him. He's absolutely motoring right now. He's killing it. Link for Saeed's channel is in the description as well on the video, everybody. Make sure that you go check out his content and what's coming up. It's going to be an exciting match day, put it that way. But for now, that is us all done. Saeed, cheers for coming on again, my friend. Love it.
Take care, guys. Peace.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.
Brilliant.